the guru of Squad 00, the assassin like no other. Yes, I'm the best at what I do. One of the most notorious in the YouTube anime and manga community. Don't doubt the infamy, please. Just don't do it. This video was supposed to come out like a couple weeks ago. Well, yeah, a couple weeks ago, I think so. And it actually came up in my mind pretty much a couple to a few months back. I can't even remember, 2-3 months back, whatever. But there's a Bleach discussion from what? Yes, another Bleach discussion. More should probably come along the way. But it is what it is. I get to them when I get to them. Y'all know how I get down. If you don't, you'll figure it out if you around my channel long enough. Anyways, this topic that I'm pretty sure I'm the only one, or one of the only ones to come up with it. I haven't heard anybody else speak about it. So it's just an original concept as far as I'm concerned. Not bragging, just throwing that out there. Because I do give credit where credit's due when I get inspiration for ideas. And this one has to do with Mayuri being the final villain. Mayuri as the final villain. Somebody find that crazy. My dude Dalton, shout out to Dalton. Also a member of Squad 00. Very knowledgeable in Bleach. Very, very knowledgeable in Bleach, my ad. He had a disagreement. He had a opposing argument, which I thoroughly enjoy, and I'm glad that I waited to do this video and hear it. He said it's like a week or so ago, explained his perspective, and I think I'll hit on the main points that he presented, and then present on mine, because I more so elaborated my thoughts in that discussion. Now first, before I begin his own perspective, and then my perspective as well as my refuting of his argument, I'll first say what made me think of this, and then what made me rethink of this, and to the point of actually making a video. Now this goes back to, first I think it was with Byakuya. I hate saying his name. Character's beast, but his name's a tongue twister for me. But Byakuya, okay? And if you remember, this was in this arc, the 1,000-year Blood War arc, whatever arc we're actually in right now. And when Mayuri was talking to Byakuya, it was clear that it was an ideological clash, with Byakuya totally about the Gote 13, even though people say Mayuri's about the Gote 13. In the Soul Society, Byakuya defense. We know how Byakuya gets down. We know his stance and the whole nobility jazz, you know, that kind of knight perspective, I suppose, that aristocracy and whatnot, and kind of representation of feudal Japan. So take that for what it's worth. Now here we have Mayuri, who's gonna do what he wants, what he got to do. He does whatever is necessary, and I'll get to that point momentarily with what made me resurrect my thoughts about this subject, this topic. Mayuri, the scientist, okay, even though he protects, even though he's very lone wolf, very rogue in his mindset, very much so that he's going to do whatever he wants. It's very individualistic rather than groupthink when it comes to Mayuri versus Byakuya. And you see a clear clash. It almost seemed like they were about to throw down right there, throw hands right there, on point. But they didn't, which is understandable given the fact that it's a quote-unquote war going on. But just that's a rift. We clearly see an ideological clash. Now, when you look at it, Zaraki Kenpachi versus Mayuri, another ideological clash, another situation where Mayuri is on some other, okay? Zaraki be on some other, but Mayuri even more so. And Mayuri's got the genius behind him. And we clearly see the clash with just the followers of Mayuri and Zaraki. You know, Zaraki's just a perma hack and slash, you know, get in there, get done, you know, speaks his mind kind of thing. Mayuri, while he does speak his mind, it's kind of, it'd be comedic, but it's very analytical, it's very, you know, curiosity, you know, strategic. Zaraki, like, screw all of that. We going in there and we taking care of business. Hack and slash. Like, he's a better fighter than what he pulled with the Pernita. Okay, that was some nonsense. That was dumb. Okay, that was dumb on Zaraki's part. I gotta call out what it is. Zaraki, maybe phenomenal generally, but that was just stupid. Okay, you can't don't just go. And Mayuri's telling this dude, don't just rush in there. There's other ways to fight, but Zaraki wasn't having that. But you could see them two were about to throw down at one point. So when you look at it, I'm looking at these these ideological clashes. While Mayuri may be about Soul Society, he may learn something. Now, okay, to the points of which Dalton was making, he was talking about how Mayuri's loyalty to Gote 13 is Soul Society. Okay, I respect that. He was talking about how, he just could not perceive Mayuri flipping. Mayuri is, this is what it is and what it ain't. The fact that Urahara Kise entrusted, Urahara would not entrust his positioning, his laboratory and everything to Mayuri if he thought Mayuri was unreliable. And Mayuri has proven that he's not. Those were the two big things about it. And there were some other points, but I respect where he's coming from. And from what's been presented, okay, I get where he's coming from. Here's the thing. Mayuri, first of all, his character was phenomenal in the recent chapters. And especially the last chapter 638, I think it was, the most recent one at this specific time, I think it was. Anyways, he's fighting the left hand, Pernita, whatever, however you say the last name, the left hand of the Soul King. And the strategy, the robotic hand looking like Inspector Gadget, explosive arm. I mean, his strategy is oh my goodness, phenomenal. Okay, phenomenal. Plays. I mean, the fact that he figured out and analyzed the whole nerve situation with Pernita's ability beforehand and saved Zaraki's life. The fact, he just is 2 steps ahead of Pernita every time. This dude's too good. He's just too good. And the fact that he got full control of his nerves, his bones, and his muscles now? Are you serious? That's crazy. That's crazy. This dude is legit. But when you look at it, Mayuri, you go past Juhabak. How could you finish the series? If you want to finish it with Juhabak and such, that's fine. But this would make very interesting. A civil war with Soul Society. Whose side are you on? This civil war to the point of where does Aizen Sosuke and Urahara fall? You see what I'm saying? Which side do they pick? Puts everybody. Where does Kurosaki Ichigo? And this would be massive characterization and character development for Ichigo. And I have issues with Ichigo. And if you ever hear me talk about it in hangouts, live streams, and otherwise, and probably in a few of my Bleach live reviews, you know I have severe issues with Ichigo's character. That would force him into a phenomenal dilemma. And why would Mayuri flip? He already has a following. It would challenge Soul Society, especially after a state of war. It would break it down to the very element. Now, Mayuri, the whole scientist aspect goes against the whole spiritual situation there. That's interesting. The fact is, this dude's knowledge game. He's too dangerous. I have him right now, right above Ichigo is the 4th most dangerous in the series currently. I got number 1. It depends if you want to include Hashwalt or not. I don't include Hashwalt for a couple reasons, but right now, Juhabak number 1, number 2, Aizen Sosuke, number 3, Urahara Kise, number 4, Mayuri. Mayuri is massively dangerous. His knowledge, this dude knows too much. Just like all those other 3 I mentioned before him, Ichigo's on the list because Ichigo, this dude's got Quincy Hollow, Hollow Quincy, Shinigami Fullbring. This guy's got too much in, his potential. But all 3 of them, Juhabak, Aizen, and Urahara, just, they know too much and they're all powerful and they're all dangerous. Mayuri's mad dangerous. He's not as powerful as them, but he's massively dangerous. And he has a potential of making himself incredibly powerful, or making creations or other ones incredibly powerful. He even mentioned that, yo, my doggone Zanpakuto, like, I think, was he in Bankai? I'm trying to remember. But his ability's like, oh, we got some work to do. So he's gonna, amp it up. And that ability was pretty axe. That was pretty OP in axe. Gotta admit. That he used against Zaraki. Doggone Mayuri. Now imagine this. Kubo could easily go off with a classic villain, which is the mad scientist. Something happens to Mayuri. I say he gains some kind of knowledge, because we know he's very big about knowledge. He could be like Dr. Faustus. If you know, is Dr. Faustus, but if classic literature, the dude who pretty much sold his soul to the devil for knowledge, gained some power too, but it was mainly for knowledge. Look it up, Dr. Faustus, by the way. A Dr. Faustus situation. And while he may know a lot now, something may happen. Knowledge, real knowledge of the Soul King, real knowledge of the true nature of Soul Society, the history or something. He already, I gotta mention that Quincy technique. So does that mean he knows hollow techniques or something? Real knowledge of the ancient world, let me just put it that way. Or knowledge of organisms that, are from somewhere, I don't know, Soul King. He finds some knowledge of the Soul King and what the Soul King actually is. Knowledge of race. I don't know, Reiatsu. I don't know. Something. He gains some knowledge, and it starts deteriorating on it as his sanity. And he starts going into a very dark place. I could imagine Kubo. If Kubo pulled this off, this would be one of the greatest endings in fiction history. If he pulled this off properly. And so Mayuri, and now, sides get drawn. Now Mayuri, he's full blown, no hindrances, no moral hindrances now. Mayuri goes pretty much not sociopathic, but psychopath. He becomes a psychopath. And he could be, because of his intelligence is very up there. Psychopaths are not the same as sociopaths. Look up the difference, ladies and gentlemen. But pretty much that's the bulk of it. And Mayuri will be the greatest test Soul Society. In fact, he may actually destroy Soul Society in the process. And in that case, does, hopefully a new world, a new order is brought. And, the entire system may just fall because of Mayuri. Because when you have an internal conflict, such as the one that Mayuri may bring to the table, and the fact that he's such a phenomenal strategist, no holds barred with Mayuri, come on now, that's ridiculous. And if he, for example, aligns with Aizen and possibly Urahara, because I think Byakuya and Zaraki would be on the other side. Where does Ichigo side? Does he side with Byakuya and Zaraki? Does he side with Mayuri? Especially if Urahara actually goes with Mayuri. See what I'm saying? Where does Yoruichi side? Where does Chad? Where does Orihime? Where does so many others side? Hitsugaya. You just start naming the names. Where does Shinsui, if he's still alive? Zaraki's still alive. If dudes are still living at the time, obviously. Where do they side? This would bring forth kind of a conclusion, because now, not only Bankais can be shown if they're not shown, Shikas and all that, but the fact is ideological. A lot of ideological struggle. Where do characters stand? Especially, we may see development from where they were. And this could tie Ichigo. And Ichigo, if he goes against Mayuri, I think it would be Ichigo's greatest test. Because, think about it. Who is really Kurosaki Ichigo? You see what I'm saying? And who, challenged everything he thinks he stands for. Mayuri would be that kind of antagonist to challenge everything about him. Challenge him physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, everything on his essence. Mayuri could be potentially that kind of character. Juhabak, it is 50-50 with how Juhabak, and in fact Juhabak may not end up being a villain, just like Aizen. But Mayuri, as a villain, would be on some other level stuff. These are my thoughts. What are yours? Unexpected Wonder. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on Mayuri as a villain. And if you don't think, who do you think? I know a lot of people are stuck with Juha, but this doesn't have to be a phenomenally long arc. This could be a 30 chapter arc, a 50 chapter arc, and just a conclusionary arc that Kubo could do. And if Kubo actually pulls this off, I called it here first, ladies and gents. Alright, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night.